Hola, hola, hola. Mwah. Welcome back to the Village Princess channel. My name is Ira Manis Basic. I'm the Village Princess. I am your princess. Yeah. I'm back with another story time. But before I start the story, may you please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. Help me to grow my channel. Share my stories. Tell people about this channel called the Village Princess by Ira Manis Basic. I have a story for you, and the story is about a young lady. Her name is Star. Star is late 30s, and she has a child. She has two kids. She had one child with her high school sweetheart, but the minute she told him that she was pregnant, he disappeared. She became a single mother. She started dating around different men until she met this guy who became a sugar daddy slash a sponsor. But she ended up with this other guy who was this very good looking guy, and he ended up to be a liar, a cheat, a gigolo, and he was just a no. But she had a child with him too. Shame. Sorry for Star, but let me share her story for you, and please let me know what you think. For me to be able to tell you Star's story, I have to go back to where Star comes from, how she grew up, the whole thing about the household. Star grew up in a household of 6 siblings, her plus 5, and 2 cousins, which means that the mother and the father, they had like 7 kids in the same household. But the mother, she had 6 kids with 3 different fathers. She got married with Star's father because Star was the oldest of the 6. But their marriage did not last because the father cheated on the mother with some neighbor or co-worker, and he left the household to go and move in with this other family. Actually, he already had kids while he was still with the mother. But after that time, Star's mother was a big drinker. Immediately she met this other guy, and the guy moved into the house, and she ended up having another 2 kids with him. He was very aggressive, very violent, verbally and everything. Meanwhile, this guy, he was married. He was juggling 2 households. At the end, he left her after she had 2 kids. He stayed with the wife. He never came back. After a few years, she ended up meeting another guy who she ended up having another 2 kids. And somehow she always brings the man to the house. She never gets married and move out there. And can you imagine what this does to the children growing in that household? The 2 cousins of Star that they were living in that house, they were the kids of the sons of the late sister of Star's mother, who passed away of sickness. She died, and then she took the kids to be with her. For that, actually, she meant well, but unfortunately her foundation was so bad from where she came from. She meant well, but she didn't know how to do better, because she was so desperate to be loved by men that she most of the time neglected the children. It was everything it was about pleasing her man, the man of the moment. And that's why Star grew up so, her biggest dream was to have a home, have her family, her children, and yeah, because she never had that growing up. So I dated my high school neighborhood sweetheart many years. Actually, it was one of those situations that we grew up together, and everybody used to call us Romeo and Juliet, or husband and wife, because boyfriend and girlfriend, because we're just the neighborhood boyfriend and girlfriend, even though we're not dating, but we're such a close friends. Until when we became teenagers, we started having adult things. We started having sex, and when I was 17, I fell pregnant. But the funny part of this story is that the minute I told him that I was pregnant, he was so excited, and we had all these big plans. We wanted to play mom and dad. We both did not work, but we had this dream of having a home and raising our baby. What he did, he went and told his parents that I was pregnant. Hola. The mother went crazy. The parents, they told him that they're gonna move him immediately. They're gonna move him somewhere to another province to stay with some uncles to go and study there. They went and told my mother that there's no way that their son impregnated her daughter, because a woman like her, who is so shameless, that's how they used to consider her in our area. There's no way that her daughter will be better than the mother. If that she's pregnant, she must look for the father of the child, but there's no way that their son is the father of the child. They don't want to hear that story. This must die there. But my mother, since she was a drunkard, but she was a very proud woman. She didn't mind raising children. She said, okay, that's fine. If you guys don't want to take responsibility, you don't want to raise the child, it's fine. I will raise this child. That's why when the child came, or when I gave birth to the child, they never bear the surname or the name of the family of the guy, because my mother and my family, they did everything. So because my household was so unstable, I was struggling to raise the child. My mother, yes, she was the type she would bring, or anyone who wanted a child, she would just take it to the house. But we were struggling. The economy was very bad because she was the only one who was working. I decided to look for a job, and I finally got a job as a housemaid for some Caucasian family. Caucasian. I don't want to call them white people, but yes, I got a job at some white people's home, and they were really very good to me. They told me, you can work here, you're such a beautiful young lady, let's do this. If you finish your high school, we're gonna pay for your university. And that's, I started working there, and I would be going to school at night, and some days my cousin or my brothers or my sister, they will bring the baby for me to breastfeed while I'm doing my job, and they were so understanding and they were so nice to me. But somehow, I don't know, along the way, I quit that job. I became a serial dater, let me call myself that. I started dating around because I was looking for that perfect man, the man that was going to be my husband, because I really wanted somebody to marry me and get me out of that family, because my mother was becoming worse by the day. Like all the men that she kept changing, and she would drink and she would become verbally violent and not really physically abusive, but verbally abusive, and I just couldn't wait. And actually, to be honest, I'm the one who raised my cousins and my brothers and sisters more than my mother, because my mother was at work, and if she was not at work, she was at home drinking or looking after her man, to the point that sometimes she would even cook 2 different foods. There's the food for daddy, the daddy of the moment. He needs to eat this and that, and then the children will be eating pap and vegetables just to have food on the table. I started dating different men for quite some time, for a few years, until I met this gentleman who was so nice to me. But one thing, I never quit school. I was still going to school at night, and then I started doing promotions. I was promoting beer products and cigarettes and other things and events. I was just part of an event company which I was doing all kind of work. I was working in some conference where I met this gentleman who was very nice, polite, and he gave me his business card, and he told me I can call him anytime if I needed anything, if I needed a friend to talk. I don't know how, but like that day, somehow I was so down that I shared with him about the household and the drama with my mom and the fact that I have a child. And after I called him, he said that he could look after me and my child as long as I don't quit school. That's why I call him my sponsor more than my sugar daddy, because he was traveling a lot and I would only see him maybe 3 or 4 times a year. But he was with me for a few years. He really helped me to raise my child from the beginning until maybe when the girl was around 8 or 9. So during that time, I'm studying at night, I'm doing my promos, and my sponsor gave me some money. I ended up opening a business. I had a shop where I was selling different things, clothes and things. I went to China and I bought different things and I was selling. I had a boutique. I joined the gym. I started looking after myself. I started looking good. I started wearing all the fabulous hair and everything. One day I'm at the gym. I come across this tall, nicely shaped, cute little muscles, juicy lips. He was a nice chocolate. I just fell for him. We exchanged numbers. We started seeing each other immediately. Can you guys believe that in less than 3 weeks, this guy moved into my house? Because I was renting a beautiful flat, and this guy, he moved in with me. We became this amazing couple. Like, if you had to look at us, we were like the perfect couple. But it was not as beautiful as the eye of the beholder. Eh? The people from it was not as beautiful as from the outside. He was a cheat. He was a liar. He was broke. He never had money for anything. Next thing, he's driving my car. Sometimes I had important things to do. I had to use the car. The car was not available because Mr. So-and-so is using the car. Me not knowing, actually when he met me, he already had a girlfriend with a child. But he was staying at his parents' house. But I don't know what he told her because he moved in with me for a few months. And in less than 6 months, I fell pregnant. I had a baby from him. And I realized that something was not right because he started staying away long hours sometimes. He started sleeping out of the house like 3-4 days. I would want to use the car and he would not be available. I would be using public transport while I had the car. And oh, God bless that man. My sugar daddy, my sponsor. He was still on the picture. At the end, I told him that I met this guy because the thing is, as much as I wanted to, I loved him, or I appreciate what he did for me, is that my dream was to be somebody's wife. And he was married, and I couldn't break up his family, and he was not willing to. Our relationship was secretive. So I find out that this guy is cheating on me. I even found out that he has a child with this lady. I met the woman, we spoke. She was shocked and surprised that he had another child and that he was staying with me because she said that he would bring groceries and everything. Just to find out that he was using my money to sponsor another woman. I used another woman's husband's money to sponsor my life and my gigolo, my love. And he's using the money that he's getting from me to sponsor another woman. Oh my God, I was so devastated. I was crying like crazy and I couldn't continue with the relationship. I asked him to move out. But the mistake is that I woke up, I went to my shop. I told him that when I come back, I don't want to meet him. Guys, this guy packs his things, packs some of my things, including the TV, including, of course, most of his clothes and shoes that I bought for him. I didn't have a problem him taking those things, but he took some household things, even things in the kitchen. He took the TV, he took the microwave. He packed in the car, in my car. He left with the car. There I am. I don't know where he moved to because I went to the lady, which we end up having a relationship because now we are both the baby mamas of this guy. She said, no, he's not here. He went and he rented a place and he was keeping my things. But of course he was running out of money. I kept calling him and SMSing him, asking him to bring the car back. Sometimes he'll say, oh, he'll bring it tomorrow or later or blah, blah. At some point he would not answer the calls, but now he's running out of money. Guess what? Who came back begging that he wants to come back to me, he loves me and everything. Okay. Somehow I was weak. I allowed him into the house. We rekindled the relationship. We decided to try to make it work. But I'm wondering, I'm like, where is the car? He tells me that the car had issues, had problems. He took it to the mechanic. Where is the mechanic? Can I go to the mechanic? Because I know that he doesn't have money. Can I go to the mechanic and pay for the car? No, you give me the money, I'll go and pay for the car. You know when you're in love or in lust or in stupidity. I gave this man money to go and pay for the car at the mechanic. He took the money, he disappeared for 2 days. I didn't see him for 2 days. He had this big long story about his family. The mother was sick, blah, blah, blah. I believed him. But now I'm like counting the days, the car is not coming back. Just to find out by one of his friends that, come on, you asking about which car? That car that so-and-so sold to so-and-so. Guys, I went crazy. I went home. I called the police on him. I got him arrested. I accused him of stealing my car. He was there arrested. I went to the police station, opened a case. I left him to rot there in jail. But of course, I think someone bailed him out because from there, I never saw him again. He never paid any, he never bought diapers, he never bought food for the child. He was already being mean to my daughter. And I did everything to be nice to this guy, and this is how he paid me back. Can you believe it? Okay, that's my story for today. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you get inspired with this story. You learn something from it, and you think or you remember somebody that had some similar story like this. Thank you for watching my story. My name is Ira Manyes Bisik, and see you in my next story. Kubai! Kubai!